Now, the Volta Regional House of Chiefs says tremendous progress has been made in terms of security. Government has assured that today marks a turning point in the relationship between itself and the traditional leaders. The Volta people are told that they should be assured that nothing of what happened earlier would happen again. Emefa Apao, my colleague, is in the region to monitor that crucial meeting. She'll bring us live updates. But first, here is a report that she sent from Japan.
Live from the Volta Junction, all the way in Japan. This is JoyNews, and of course, you all recall that last week by this time, we were reporting about an act of some group believed to be Volta Secessionists, hoping to have a secession from Ghana. 3 groups, we're told, are behind this, security underway. But just for you to refresh your memories, this is the exact spot that this incident happened. They call this area the Volta Junction, and this is where the tires and all were bent. At this exact spot, we're told that 3 spots where you can see the tires, the big tires on the ground there. And then now, as we speak, security, we're told, has been beefed up. And truly, that has been beefed up. I'll tell you more about it. But just for you to know that this is where exactly things happened. And this is where all the action was last week, Friday. And then subsequently, we're told about that STC bus that was bent in a hole. But we'll get to there shortly, where the Volta Regional House of Chiefs are currently meeting the security chiefs in the country, the Volta caucus, the minority caucus in parliament, to find the exact way forward. We've already heard from the Western Togoland group, who say that they are not behind this particular attack. But that remains to be seen, since security has been beefed up at this area. As we speak, coming all the way here from the Kmon traditional area where the Ghana Water Company has an office, the Form Police Unit has mounted, vehicles and checkpoints out there. We've seen a number of checkpoints that were put together to ensure that nothing of the sort is repeated. We're told by government that some assurances have been given that none of this will ever happen again. But this is the situation. If you look behind me or ahead of me, you would see that a number of security men, both military and police security, have been put together. And there's a checkpoint at this Volta Junction to ensure that what we witnessed last Friday does not happen again, and what we saw in Ho does not also happen. So this is the exact spot that things happened. Ties were bent here to prevent people from entering the Volta region. They're saying that it's a secessionist act. But interestingly, we've been here and we've seen residents. You can see Okada riders right behind me. They are sellers, traders around here. But all they say is they will not speak to us. They are all so tight-lipped. It's as safe so to say that they've all been warned not to speak to the media about this situation. But you can see fear in their eyes anytime you speak to them. We've been interacting with them before going on air, and none of them would tell you what exactly it is that happened. One will tell you that they were not around. Others will tell you that they had traveled. Most of them in this area tell you that they were not in town when it happened. It's interesting that they did not see anything at all. So to speak, it's as if that people are afraid just to say anything about what it is that happened. But this is the situation now at Volta Junction here at Japan. I should say that at Mpoku on the Adomi Bridge, tight security, military presence right there at the Adomi Bridge at Mpoku, all the way to this point at Volta Junction where we are. So that's the situation as we speak.
Emefa Apao there, my colleague on the security desk, who is monitoring this security meeting ongoing between government and the traditional leaders of the Volta region. Toby Afede himself is represented in this meeting. The Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo is represented in this meeting. We have the National Security Minister Albert Kandapa, the Interior Minister, other security chiefs are all represented in this meeting. A press conference is scheduled. It was scheduled for 3 p.m., but of course it hasn't started yet. But Emefa is standing by on the ground to feed us what information she has gathered as we wait for that crucial press conference. Emefa.
I'm sorry, Gifty. I didn't hear the question, but I'm sure you are asking.
Yes, Emefa, do go ahead. I haven't asked a question yet, but I want you to give us what information you have gathered. What we're hearing so far is that this meeting has been successful, but always the devil is in the detail. What have you picked up, and why are both sides referring to this meeting as successful at this point?
So now I can hear you very loud and clear. I apologize for the earlier there. So the issue is that, of course, we've heard from the Volta Regional House of Chiefs. We interacted with them right after that meeting at the Volta Regional House of Chiefs. A high-powered delegation from government represented Interior Minister Ambrose Jerry. We also had, of course, the Minister for Regional Reorganization and Development, Mr. Dan Buche. We had the Volta Regional Minister Archibald Lecha. We had also a number of them. We had Kandapa himself, the National Security Minister, also represented. John Peter Amewu, the Energy Minister, also there. It appears that this is a meeting that government takes seriously. And on the side of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, we had the acting regional president of the Regional House of Chiefs, Togbe Teprehodo. We had the National Chieftaincy, president also being there. The Chieftaincy Minister himself was also there. Kofi Jamesi was also represented. And speaking to the acting president of the Regional House of Chiefs, he says that this is a meeting that gives them an assurance that the relationship between government and the Regional House of Chiefs has seen the next level. This will not be the last, he says. We also interacted with the Awomafia of Young Law Traditional Council, and he also talked with me, and he also gives us the impression that this side, in terms of the traditional authorities, they are largely happy with what government told them in terms of, the security situation in the Volta region. And Togbe Teprehodo tells us that from today, the people of the Volta region should be rest assured that what they've seen in the past, in terms of what we witnessed just exactly a week ago, and then Monday dawn, is actually a thing of the past. That's something that will never happen again. I asked when he says that tremendous success, what that means. And he says that listening to the side of the government, because this is a national security chiefs that have been put together, and considering the delegation that was sent there to this meeting, it gives them the assurance that something will be done. But you've heard the critics say that this should have been picked up. This should have been intelligence that would have been picked up by government before it happened. So how then did it not happen that they picked that intelligence before it happened? And he says that they've given them that assurance that it will not happen again, and that's what they should be rest assured, that it will not happen again. So they are saying that, of course, listening to government, there's nothing else they can do but to take government's word for it unless something untoward happens again. So where we stand now, that's the situation. And we are waiting for the press briefing from both sides. You know that that meeting was a closed-door meeting. Of course, we got wind of certain details from there, but the chiefs will not, confirm that to us. But amongst others, we picked up information from that meeting that going forward, the chiefs will have their own investigative body, for instance, but we need funding from government to be able to make sure that going forward, they will also pick intelligence and help the security, because they are on the ground. These are their people, their subjects. So whatever it is that they plan, they ought to pick it up before they implement. I also asked the question about whether going forward, the issues about security analysts saying that government should be able to engage some of these people. There should be dialogue going forward to understand what exactly they want. The chiefs tell us that that is not their place. They are hoping that this is a matter that government, you've heard the president and the vice president describe these people as criminals. So we don't know whether they would want to engage them. But asking whether they've reached out to the chiefs themselves, they are yet to confirm that to us. They tell us that they don't. They've not reached out to them yet. But once they do, they would want to hear from them as well and know what exactly their concerns are and see how they can address it going forward. So that's where we are right now. Then we can hear the details from the press conference once it happens, Gifty.
MFA Apau there. MFA, thank you so much for those details. And as you can see in MFA's video, right behind her is a stage that is well set, ready for that press conference. You can see behind MFA right there, it looks like tables, chairs, everything arranged. And so we'll be here to find out. I mean, as and when it happens, we'll take you live to that particular meeting. MFA Apau, my colleague on the security desk
Mr.
there.
himself, Mr. Kandapa, on this, because the chiefs have been asking as to why they did not pick up that intelligence. Flags were hoisted, billboards were raised overnight, trips of sand were put in the middle of the road. How is it that nobody picked up these intelligence? That remains to be seen. We're hoping that these are the questions that will come up at this press conference, and then we'll get the details, Gifty.
MFA, thank you so much for that, MFA Pau there. We'll get back to that press conference. We want to find out why this should convince anybody that lives in this area that they're safe, why they should be rest assured that government is doing what it should so that all of us are safe.